Episode 2. We made it, Johannes. And I just want to say, I don't like the way my last guest, Santino, was treating you. You know, I felt like he was making fun of your heritage for being Italian or whatever, and I didn't like that. Did you feel that?
Yeah, Swedish, but yeah, it was a bit rough.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm not going to allow that anymore. From this point forward, no one in this room will ever mistreat Johannes. Do you understand?
Thank you. Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that.
Okay, you're actually talking way too much. I just need you to hit the buttons. Just press play so we can start the show. And do that right now.
Do I sit here?
Yeah, this is your throne. This is the Pete throne.
That's what you said to Andrew Santino.
I said, you're sitting in Pete's throne, Andrew. Look at you. You are one tall glass of green juice. Look at you. Wow.
I am a tall glass of green juice. I feel.
And yet, I feel like in the chair, you look small now.
Can I keep it?
Yeah.
Quick yes.
Yeah.
A quick yes.
Of course, Pete.
How do I address you?
What do you mean?
Like how, the
like
whole...
in a letter? What do you, formally? What do you mean address me?
What should I call you?
John Goblikon, host of Right Now.
I only knew Goblinekron.
My last name is Goblikon. Not to be mistaken with the band Nekrogoblikon.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's where it is from.
I was listening to it on the way in.
I
loved it.
Thank you.
It's so good.
You know what?
It's no joke, though. It's metal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite literally metal.
I don't know why that got me real good.
Yeah.
How is it literally metal? It's literally metal music.
It's
It's not literally the element metal.
We made metal CDs. Can't play them. It's like steel or something.
Like a Mortal Kombat weapon.
Yeah.
That would shoot from a wrist, sort of.
Put it right in the player.
Shagoonk.
Shagoop. Is that another Mortal Kombat sound effect?
Shagoonk.
Shagoop.
Beheaded by a metal CD.
That must have been a heck of a drive here, Pete. Listening to Nekrogoblikon. You're juiced up right now, aren't you?
Well, you know, I think one of the appeals of metal to me is that I have a specific kind of ADHD that is calmed by overstimulation. So it's so big that it actually makes me feel good. You know, calm and centered. I'm not just saying that. So it juices me, but I also go like,
yeah.
Enya doesn't make me go, Enya makes me go, the is happening right now? Metal, you're like, you're in the pocket. So I really liked it. And it's incredible. What I think is funny about metal is people are like, oh, this is like Wicked or something. And I'm like, how many people are in the group?
Too many. 9, 10,
like
11.
An Arcade Fire kind of problem?
We're trying to get rid of some. I've been saying for a while, we got to like whittle it down.
Yeah. How do you get a bass player off your porch?
How?
Pay for the pizza. Come on.
They said you were a comedian.
Come on.
And they did not lie.
Okay, Johnny boy.
Man,
and I do want to say I was the bass player in my band, so I say that with all respect.
What was the name of your band?
Nude.
Never heard of them. But
I feel like you had the never heard of them before I even said it. Like you had it in the chamber.
Well, there was a 0% chance you were about to name it. Because here's the thing.
You didn't hear of my high school band Nude in 1997 that never put out any records?
What high school?
Lexington High School.
I stand corrected. I did hear of them.
That would make me happy.
I did hear of them, I believe.
I was going to say that the band is incredibly proficient. So what I think is really funny about take Guns N' Roses, right? I grew up in the 80s.
Thanks. Okay, but okay.
I'll take the gun to end it. So I don't have to listen to these Guns N' Roses, I'll tell you that right now. Okay. But anyway, that comes out and everyone's like, this is the devil's music. Now as a dad, I listen to it and I'm like, these fucking kids applied themselves. Slash learned all these scales. They're all in time.
Yeah.
All I see is discipline. They saw wickedness. And that's how I feel about your band. I'm like, this is technically undeniable. So I don't hear anything. That your records came out in the 80s, people would be like, this is the devil. And now I'm just like, this is a group of hardworking, conscientious musicians.
I like that. I'll have to tell them, but their egos would get very big.
Yeah.
And I want to keep them in line right now.
You're the only goblin that wants people to have manageable small egos.
Absolutely, Pete. And here's the thing. Real quick, Johannes. Last week, before Santino was on, Johannes, as a producer, gave me a list of things not to do on a podcast. And Santino was doing them all.
Whoa.
Except for chewing gum.
Yeah.
And that's what you're doing. So just write out. Yep. Thank you.
I know. If you were on my podcast.
You can do whatever you want on this podcast.
And Lord, here's hoping you will be on my podcast and you were chewing gum. I'm not a confrontational person, but I'd say, could you please stop chewing gum?
Really?
People hate it.
You strike me as an alpha male. Just ready to sink your teeth into whoever looks at you wrong, Pete. Is that not true?
I get confused for Joe Rogan a lot.
I said that before you got here.
People are like, imagine Joe Rogan in the wig of a lesbian.
Well, real quick, you got great hair.
Thank you.
You have fantastic hair.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. What do you
I
think
feel like we could, I use modern mammals. I don't know if you've heard me talk about that.
The algorithm gods are like, you gotta see Pete and his shampoo. That's not shampoo.
It's a non-shampoo shampoo.
Yeah, I've been watching.
I feel like we could help you out.
That's my favorite thing you've done.
That is so funny to say.
I love you in modern mammals commercials.
That is... You know when you have a really good Caesar salad?
Oh.
And you're like, holy shit, when they do it right?
Yeah.
That's how I felt about that joke.
Oh, yeah.
That joke was the best Caesar salad.
And it was the Caesar salad of jokes. And I'll add some chicken on that Caesar salad.
Protein.
Here's the thing. I really like the dynamic because it reminded me of those commercials you've seen before. Where there's like a nerd, and then there's a straight guy. And you're so much taller than him.
Oh, my God.
It was like a computer commercial, but for shampoo.
A non-shampoo shampoo. You mean the Macintosh commercials with John Hodgman and Justin Long?
I might.
You do.
I might.
You do.
Is that the same guy from those commercials?
No.
Oh. All right. Well, that kind of kills those next 3 questions. All right.
What's Justin Long like?
That's okay. Yeah. All right. So, real quick, Pete, we're just going to go ahead and get started. Should we record?
Yeah, we've been recording, but yeah.
Oh, no, that's getting in. All right, ladies, gentlemen, goblins, I have for you actor,
modern mammal,
comedian, writer, fellow podcast host, and the inspiration behind Joe Rogan, Pete Holmes, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a claw, everybody who's listening currently in your car, and then re-grab the steering wheel.
Yeah.
So, Pete, I know on your podcast, you like to get all ethereal. You talk about all these big questions and answer all these big things in life.
Going for it.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
The metal.
Yeah. You're the metal of
spirituality.
I've said that. That's what I said before.
I've said that.
Huh? Hand to Gob. When he was there, right?
In Gob we trust.
That's it.
Do you believe in Gob?
I believe in Gob. Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah. He's right here.
He's everywhere. How's that for a Pete Holmes podcast right there? Okay. So I want to start light.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into all that stuff.
Yeah. Let me get. Oh, my gums. It's in a safe place. I'm not going to step on it.
Deep in the carpet. Okay.
It's part of the show now.
It is where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Did you say that on your podcast before?
Where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we say that.
I thought you might.
Sometimes if a guest leaves their water, I'll say, do you want to drink Wayne Brady's water? Like, it gives this weird continuity. So you can say, do you want Pete Holmes' gum? Or to spice it up, you can pretend and say, do you want Wayne Brady's gum?
Did you have Wayne Brady on your show?
I just had Wayne Brady on. You want some WB?
Give me all the WB scoop. Yeah. Just call me the dancing frog because I'm tuning in. What was Wayne Brady. Like, oh my, I literally have like 12 questions about Wayne. Hey, pull up my Wayne Brady questions. It's amazing. I love improv. I love Wayne Brady, Pete. I brought you here in hopes you had Wayne Brady on your podcast. I literally, when they sent me a list of people to come on the podcast, at the very top of my list was Wayne Brady.
Well, it said Pete Holmes, parentheses, in hopes that he'll hook us up with Wayne Brady.
Well, to be honest, it was Pete Davidson.
Well, people sometimes think I'm Pete Davidson.
Yeah, but I was like, whatever other Pete you could get. And they're like, well, Holmes is available.
We got the two Petes from Nickelodeon or Holmes. And you're like,
But Wayne Brady is like my idol. So tell me what Wayne was like. What was he like? Pete. Wayne. Wow. You look like I was just about to pop you. You got so red.
I did. I just didn't. I'm loving every millisecond, and I just didn't see my day going this way.
But you were listening to Nekrogoblikon.
Yeah.
Am I soothing to your anxiety, Pete?
I said my ADHD, but thanks for bringing in another
ADHD.
80. I have 80 high definitions.
I understand.
Yeah.
And that's what they mean when they say AD and BC.
Yeah. It's a certain year, AD, HD assumed.
Yes.
Everybody was very distracted in the olden days.
I thought so. They barely wrote any books. There's only a couple.
That's true, because a lot of them got burnt.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, I think there was like some weird library in Rome.
Maybe.
And at the end, what ushered in the Dark Ages?
Usher?
Usher found Justin Bieber.
Because that was another one on my list. I was like, I wonder if he's had on Usher. That'd be fun, too.
I've never had on Usher.
But Wayne Brady, what was he like? Just Wayne, what was he like? Pete, what was he like? What was he like?
Wayne Brady?
Pete, what was he like?
He was a delight.
Oh, okay. That makes me very happy. Okay. Sometimes, they say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah. No, you can meet Wayne Brady. You can meet him.
And can I? I would love to come on your podcast and meet Wayne Brady.
If you come on, I can get Wayne to come back.
Johannes, this is very good. This is only episode 2, and I feel like we've peaked,
Wait, Santino was one?
Santino was our first episode. I thought it would go differently. I had Bobby Lee on my talk show. He just beat up my set.
Yeah,
he overturned my table, broke it, very disrespectful.
Yeah.
So I was told that Santino was like the nicer of the two.
Yeah.
Had him on, made fun of Johannes the whole time.
Well, Johannes kind of looks like Andrew Santino, and I'm not just saying that because you got a little ginge. You don't feel like you're a little ginge?
No, yeah, I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So when a
tinge of ginge.
A tinge of ginge. When a ginge sees another ginge, they're thrilled. It's like when I was in 8th grade, I was the heaviest kid, and then another kid joined. His name was Wayne. He was about
Brady?
Oh my God.
Pete, are you about to tell me you went to high school? Was he in your band? Was he a dude? Wait. He had to be, he's probably the singer. He was definitely the singer. I mean, you look at Wayne Brady, he's got pipes. He's a singer.
He is a wonderful singer. I just want to go, I'm going to go home. I'm going to carve you an Emmy. Like I'm going to mold it in gold because that was so funny.
Make it metal.
I will make it metal.
Yeah.
On the inside, it'll be wood. They are wood on the inside.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Pete, what do you think happens when we die?
Which James Taylor song could you cover in your metal band with the most, that wouldn't ruin the show? Something in the way she moves?
That feels right.
In my mind, I'm going to Carolina.
I feel like, isn't James Taylor that guy that just like wrote all those songs, but no one knows who he is? Is that James Taylor?
No, people know who James Taylor is.
I know.
He looks like he owns a Ben & Jerry's ice creamery.
James Taylor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. What happens when we die?
Yeah. What do you think happens when we die?
I'm going to say, who are we is a good start. When we're talking about what was born and what was dying, we might want to get curious about what we mean when we say I, when I refer to I. So I would say, When something dies in your dream, it just kind of evaporates into the consciousness that created it. I would say that's very similar to when we die. This you could consider being God's dream, or the universe's dream, or consciousness's dream.
I think we stop breathing and we get really stiff.
That's true. That's also true.
I think that's what happens. I think there's proof of that.
Well, yeah, depending on what perspective we're looking at it.
Yeah.
If you're the person who died, maybe the dream dissolve, and for you, looking at the dying person, they get rigor mortis, and they also shit their pants. When I learned that you shit your pants when you die, that really changed the John Wick franchise for me.
In what way?
Well, there's like 75 soiled drawers in that room. Get out of there, guys.
Oh.
Yeah, Keanu's just having a calm conversation. There's a lot of shit in that room.
Okay, Pete.
So that's one of the ways to answer what happened when we die. We poop our pants, and we pee-pee our pants. That's the tip we leave for the bartender.
You've thought about this a lot, haven't you?
Well, that's on the material plane. I believe it's Chinese Zen that says it's like we're like vases, and when you break the vase, the air that was in the vase scatters into the air that was outside the vase. So there's a merging. You could say it's a returning, but you never really left the consciousness that you really are.
What happens to all the pieces of the vase? Does your aunt yell at you?
In the metaphor, the pieces of the vase are shitting their pants and getting rigor mortis.
Okay. Then I'm back in. I'm back in. Okay. I wasn't really into that whole thing you were just saying, but now I'm back in.
Can I say how disappointing it would be to talk to a goblin that loves me poorly describing like non-dual metaphysics? If you were like, right on, I'd be kind of disappointed. I want my metal goblins to be like, we die and we go in the fucking sewer. That's what I want.
We're metal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We listen to Nekrogoblikon on our trips over here, you know, which, by the way, thank you for coming here.
It was kind of scary.
It was a little scary. Yeah.
What do you think happens when we die? We just go to the fucking sewer? Or a smudge of excrement on a barge of garbage?
I think first you have to ask.
That's very good.
Okay.
That's very good.
I think first you have to ask.
Well, we get really cocky about what happens when we die, meaning most people, a materialist worldview is like lights out. But we don't know where life came from, but we're very confident about when it ends.
That's a good point.
And I do think there's a certain kind of comedic arrogance to that. It could be true, but there's not a lot of people going like, that's funny. It's funny that Neil deGrasse Tyson, who I love, is like, it definitely ends. That's absurd. We entered into something that's so fucking confusing and we're going, but it stops moving and it stops breathing, so whatever that was is fucking gone. I don't know. Whatever we're saying, we should say with a good dose of who fucking knows, man. I'm talking to a goblin right now.
Yeah, I think that's what our listeners are saying right now. They're listening to this going, should I be taking anything seriously? I'm listening to Pete Holmes.
Yeah. Talking to
a goblin
about the afterlife.
Yeah.
And if that isn't an answer in itself, I really think it might be. Lighten up, relax.
What are some interesting thought leaders, as they're called, that you like to follow or help you to gain closer access to finding those answers, Pete?
The answers to the meaning of life?
Yeah.
Yeah!
I want you to find the meaning of life right now!
Wait, that's oh no, you had a song called It's My Time.
This is my time. Yeah.
It's not your time.
Yeah, it's called This Is It.
Oh, this is it. Yeah.
Maybe that,
Well, that's actually a nice place to start.
This is it.
Well, the illusion of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. You can also go to the illusion of space. It's very interesting. As a music person, you can appreciate that right now your brain is interpreting the sound of my voice being at the volume that it's at as a distance to you.
Can I turn it down?
You can.
Okay.
It creates a story.
Okay.
But you also know that if you closed your eyes and I put a bunch of speakers around you, I could play a very faint seagull and you would think that the seagull was really far away, right?
I would.
Right?
Yeah.
That's how we do it. But really, it's all happening fucking right here. And it's all happening right fucking now. And that is one of the biggest kind of secrets to the universe, is to deeply experience that the moment is all we have and that everything is kind of your brain's best attempt at creating something that's very still and ever-present. Eternal doesn't mean lasting forever in time. It means outside of time. And that's really what's going on right here. It's very weird.
Wow, Johannes.
Did Andrew Santino say any of this shit?
You know what? He sure did it, Pete.
No.
Wow.
He's just out there eating
Where'd you
pizza.
learn this stuff, huh?
Well, you can learn from your experience, right? I mean, you can remember that I came in, but you're doing that remembering right now. So you're creating a continuity that I arrived and we talked about the big chair, and that kind of helps us feel settled in this universe. But really, it's just this. It's the still point of right here and right now. And what we do is we drag the past with us, all the things we've done wrong, all the things we should have said, all the relationships, all the times you farted in an elevator, and we torture ourselves. We use the screen of the present moment to mostly play projections of the future or replaying the past, usually not in our favor. And it's an absurd way to live. It really is. That's why it's so beautiful that you make music. That's very present. Music is very like, let's establish this, and let's bring it and fucking get people going. And why do people love it? In the presence of an amazing song, all of that goes away. Your past goes away. You stop thinking about the future, and what happens? You're in the moment. So being in the moment isn't just an Eckhart Tolle. That's one of my teachers for sure thing. It belongs to the people that love nature, that love sex, that love comedy, that love music, that love art. Anytime you're in something where you have a timeless experience, you're really tasting reality. It's just this. It's just this. It's crazy. You ever do drugs?
I'm on them right now. And they just kicked in right before you started talking. And let me tell you, pal, wowie, zowie.
Yeah. No, these are good things to consider while on a high dose of mushrooms.
Do you do mushrooms?
I haven't done mushrooms in a long time. I've actually been feeling like maybe I ought to.
I feel like you should do them with me.
I think that would be really awesome.
Awesome.
I do think that would be really awesome.
Where would we go, Pete?
If we took mushrooms?
Yeah, where would we go? Where would you take me?
I used to go to Huntington Gardens. You ever go to Huntington Gardens?
No.
Yeah, it's a big old nature preserve in LA, and it's incredible. It's a great place to do psychedelics. If you've ever seen me rolling in a field, that's what was happening.
Bad news, pal. Next time you're in that place, everyone knows you're on mushrooms.
They're going to escort me out.
Yeah.
They're going to escort me out. I don't do mushrooms at I have, but I don't think a concert is necessarily the best place to do it. My rules for doing mushrooms are you should do it with someone you're comfortable crying in front of, puking in front of, being naked in front of. Not that any of those things are necessarily going to happen, but that's the level of trust you should have with the people you're with, and you should do it in nature. And I say during the day.
Yeah.
A lot of people do them at night. I'm like, do them during the day.
Those are my rules for masturbation.
Me too.
Yeah. Do you believe in masturbation?
Of course.
Because I saw you wrote a book called Masturbation. What does the Bible say about masturbation? Oh, there it is on Amazon. That's a good price. What does the Bible say about masturbation by Pete Holmes?
It's actually masturbation.
Oh, you're right.
It's got an exclamation and then an unholy colon. That double punctuation really rubs me the wrong way.
Who designed your book?
Well, this is my first book.
Yeah. This was before they had Photoshop. This is Microsoft Paint.
Yeah. I also don't like that in the thriftbooks.com, it has masturbation : what does the Bible say about masturbation? But on the book cover, there's no colon. It's just a blue voice yelling masturbation, and then a more reasonable black typeface voice says, what does the Bible say about masturbation? I'll tell you what the Bible says about masturbation. Almost nothing. It is a stretch.
So you read that whole book and there's nothing about jerking off in the whole thing?
You'd think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there'd be something, right?
I think there'd be a little.
And what do they?
Very little. You know what they got? Maybe you'll get a kick out of this. They used to call it onanism because onan in the Old Testament, this is one of the few, it's a stretch. Because all us guilty Christian kids growing up were like, the only sin that we felt we were doing, we weren't murdering, we weren't stealing, we, for the most part, weren't lying, but we loved, taking ourselves to dinner, so we felt like we were going to hell. So, of course, we're scared. By the way, this isn't my book. I hope everyone knows that.
What do you mean it's not your book? Pete Holmes. I literally Googled Pete Holmes' book, and this came book.
I'd love to claim that this is my book.
I'm going to be real with all of our listeners. We didn't Photoshop in.
No.
This is not Holmes.
No, I'll confirm that. This is not photoshopped. I believe this Pete Holmes has also written a book called Drug of the New Millennia, which is also about internet pornography, getting addicted to internet pornography.
Did this guy do the show about bowling? Because I got a bone to pick with this guy then.
You don't ask. Is that you? You say, is this the guy that did the show about bowling? Is this him? That's him.
I talked to him about why it got canceled, but got to cross it.
Low viewership.
Okay. So there's another Pete Holmes out there.
Yeah, who's writing books about Janet in the Bible.
And yet you struggle with that.
Jerking it? Dude, for real, John.
Okay, let's
that is weird.
That's
like some simulation theory
that would be
right
like
there.
Another John Goblikon writing about what it's like to be an insurance salesman turned world-renowned author turned metal mascot turned lead singer of the premier Goblin metal band Nekrogoblikon.
That's true, because all of those things are your things, and my thing is, I'm going to say without exaggeration, 30% of my spiritual life growing up was like jerking it, and what does the Bible say about jerking it?
Yeah, that's like half your material, right?
If I start talking about jerking off, you know I'm bringing it in for a close. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's my big finish.
Literally.
Yeah. I was going to say Onan was...
O'Brien.
Onan O'Brien.
Yes.
In the Old Testament.
He got you your start, correct?
Oh my God, Onan O'Brien.
Yeah, isn't that him? He's also very tall.
We're about the same height with his pompadour.
Or are you going to tell me it's another Onan O'Brien who's tall and got a talk show, like, you know?
Oh my God.
I'm so confused. I like half my notes are on this book, but why don't you just talk about it why don't we just edit out what he said that wasn't him? Because this is just way too confusing for our viewers. I would say even more confusing than the diatribe about spirituality and where we are and who we are and asking all those questions.
Yeah, those are tough questions.
Do you believe in ghosts?
It's uninteresting to me. I think we
uninteresting. Ghosts.
It's fairly uninteresting
because all they do is turn on and off water and open and close a door.
Yeah, if you're going to cheat death to just kind of slowly walk around an old house, that's pretty fucking dumb.
It seems lame, right?
Yes,
I'm with you, Pete.
Yeah. I don't care about most things like that. Like if they're like, oh, aliens manipulated our DNA and taught us agriculture.
Okay, so
that's
all right,
on there.
I'll cross that one out
That's
as well.
on there. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not one of my interests. I think it's fun in the same way that, ice cream is fun. Ghost stories are fun. But I do think we go like, imagine if there was like a ghost when we don't know what a human being is. Like, we don't know what the fuck this is. And we're like, imagine if there was a sea creature named Nessie. I'm like, we're the mystery. A butterfly is the mystery. A ladybug is the mystery. And we're like, imagine if there was a vampire. I'm like, you're just sort of wasting. Or if there were aliens. It's just sort of dumb to me.
So you're not really into fantasy. That is not human-based. That is not inside your consciousness.
Yes.
What if you found out that ghosts were just like defecating themselves every time they had to like leave and come back and do all that kind of stuff?
What do you mean?
Well, you seem like into that. So I was just wondering if they were doing that. Yeah, if they were like doing that kind of stuff, that would kind of
when you die,
get you back into it.
Going back to that. Yeah, if they were pooping, I'd be into it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. If you said there's a ghost in that room, I'd be, just like any human person, I think, I'd be deeply interested in that. And even the biggest skeptic that's like, oh, this is all there is, it's just this, I think if they're being honest, they'd get a little, hairs on the back of the neck. It's the most interesting thing in the world. I just don't think it's, it's not really my cup of tea. I don't spend too much time thinking about it.
You think humans are the real mystery?
I think consciousness is the real mystery, yeah.
Consciousness.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about that, Pete.
Sure.
What is consciousness?
Yeah, what is consciousness?
What is consciousness? I'm asking the questions here. Yeah. What is consciousness?
The way to engage with this question, this is so fun, is to ask yourself, just who am I? That is the big question. So I used to think, know thyself, these types of things, they're carved in Grecian temples and stuff, know thyself. Or the holy question, who am I?
Live, laugh, love. That's carved in a lot of things. Is that one of them?
Number one, grandma.
Yep.
All these types of things.
Yeah. Honk if you're horny.
Honk when you're horny. I prefer.
Sorry.
Because we're assuming you'll be horny at some point.
That's right.
And I'm willing to wait.
Yep.
So honk when you're horny.
Yep. This Pete Holmes is not into that.
No, he's not.
No.
That dude, I have a theory that the sexually repressed religious people are having the fucking hottest sex. Can you imagine fucking and thinking you're going to an eternal conscious torment for it?
Well, yeah, I have a lot of sex, so yeah, for sure, I have a lot of sex, Pete. I've had it, for sure, and I know what that means, I think. Definitely, Pete, for sure.
Oh, my God.
For sure, man. Yep. Uh-huh, yeah. Oh, yeah. What else? What else about it?
Oh, the who am I thing?
Sure.
Well, I used to think who I was this body, these preferences. I like comedy. I like Paul Thomas Anderson movies. I don't like this type. I don't like country music, let's say.
You don't like ghosts?
I'm okay about ghosts, for example. I used to think that's who I was, but those things haven't always been with me, which means they're not essential to me. So we're looking for the essence of ourselves. That's obviously where essential means. So like when I was 2 years old, I had none of those preferences, but I was. And when I was 20 years old, I didn't have all of those preferences, but I was. And now I'm 45 years old. So we're looking spirituality. I'm not really like a crystal shop, pet psychic kind of spiritual person. I'm just kind of interested in what doesn't change, what has always been with you. What was the same when you were 2 or 22 or 32, 42, it doesn't matter. What is the through line through all of experience? And it's the sense of being. It's the feeling that you are aware, and not just as a thought experiment or something to believe in, but when you tap into that feeling of being, which you can even do right now, it's very easy to just kind of settle into that spacious, open field of awareness. That's not just something to believe, it's something to do while you're sitting in traffic listening to Nekrogoblikon. That's literally what I do. It's a peaceful, content, fulfilled place to go. And when you look for happiness and objective experience, you'll only find these fleeting little Roman candles of happiness or getting something that you wanted. And you and I both know that only lasts a couple moments. So if you're looking for, something truer, not even truer, it's just something more reliable, you look for who you really are.
Can Wayne Brady really sing? Did he really have that good of a voice?
Oh my God, he will not disappoint you.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Wayne Brady will not disappoint you.
Okay, that's my consciousness.
I should say a lot of what I'm saying comes from Rupert Spira, so you should listen to him.
Rupert? Are you making fun of my...
No, I love it. It's
my dialect?
No. It's very surreal.
Deep Valley. I'm from Reseda. I got a little bit of an accent.
Oh.
Yeah.
You grew up in Reseda?
Yeah.
Like Free Fallin'?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom Petty.
Never heard of him. I deal with a lot of anxiety. And I felt like you might be the perfect person. Well, I got to be honest. I thought this Pete would be the perfect person. Yeah. But I'll ask this Pete.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for someone with a lot of anxiety?
Sure. I've dealt with anxiety my whole life.
What are some tidbits you could share with me and my audience?
Well, it's a question of like how to approach this, because you can start at like a lower altitude. We've been kind of talking about head in the clouds kind of stuff. Lower altitude, I find relationship is wonderful. Having a wife, being in relationship with her, being a father, being in relationship with my daughter really calms my anxiety, meaning getting over yourself. Living to serve, even having a dog is a wonderful way to lower your anxiety. Just something that helps you remember that it's not all about you, because anxiety is usually kind of like, there's a twinge of my shit really matters. It's life or death. I'm having this overreaction. Your body's in fight flight. So you start serving somebody else. I'm not anxious when I'm reading my daughter a bedtime story. You know what I mean?
you were a waiter, correct? So you did serve a lot of people. Where did you wait tables, Pete? Bennigan's?
I did wait tables.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. You walked in here, I said, this guy's worked at a Bennigan's. That's the first thing I said. That's the first thing I said.
Well, yeah, I did work at a Bennigan's, and I got Employee of the Month the first month I was there. It's a weird flex, but here we are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Bennigan's?
You know, there was a time, I remember in the training, they told us something absurd. There was like, there's a new Bennigan's opening somewhere in the world every hour. And I was like, how can that be? But it's gone now. When I go to Chicago, I go by my old Bennigan's. It's a Rite Aid now.
Low viewership.
Yeah, it got how we rolled.
Oh, wow. That's disappointing. Now, you do discuss being evangelical.
Evangelical?
Is that how you say it? And apparently smoking, drinking,
Fucking.
having doubts that premarital sex frowned upon.
Well, I'm not evangelical.
Were you?
This guy might be.
Oh, great.
No.
Johannes, you wrote all the notes on the wrong Pete Holmes.
But there's a lot of overlap.
I just can't believe the odds that Pete Holmes must have also worked at Bennigan's, that finally aligned. But
I would love to meet. Well, I don't know about that. I'd like to think that we would like each other, me and this Pete Holmes. Who knows?
So, who hosts the podcast You Made It Weird?
This Pete Holmes.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Because I am a big fan of the theme song.
Yeah.
Who did that theme song?
Reggie Watts.
Oh!
Yeah.
I had Reggie Watts on here.
I thought I was the second episode.
Well, yeah. I had a talk show. It was on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Low viewership.
I don't think
canceled.
that's true. I think you can't get canceled from YouTube.
We did. That's what they told me. So Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah,
and
wonderful.
He tried to make me a theme song. It didn't stick, though.
No?
No, but yours.
But you're in a band. You could make your own.
Well, we have now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Do we have that available to play?
Sure.
I mean,
You feel it?
I love
We're
it.
rising. We're rising, Pete.
That's ascending. Oh. Great. What is your drummer's name?
I don't know. They'll have to tell me. I think it's Eric.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I just want to say whoever that is or whoever programmed that, the kick drum is off the charts.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
You got to see us live, Pete.
I
Now-
can't imagine you do more than one show a year. That sounds physically.
That was our thing for a while. That was our thing, kind of, Pete. We would just do one show.
I gotta see this guy's calves.
But no, we just played Riot Fest in Chicago.
Yeah.
Do you like Chicago?
I love Chicago.
I love Chicago.
I love Chicago.
What a good city. I feel like a lot of our guests are always from Chicago that do comedy.
I feel like I consider that I started in Chicago, even though I'm from Boston.
So you didn't.
But I did. That's what I'm saying. I did. I did.
Oh,
stand
this is
up-
one of those things where you're like, you're just like, I say it is, and so it is so.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, you were conscious in Chicago, and so you're Chicagoan.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Think of a memory from your childhood. Was a sense of being there?
Yep.
Was it the same sense of being?
Yep.
Yeah. there
Who
you
am
go.
I?
There you go.
I'm John Goblikon, host of Right Now.
Well, I did stand up maybe 5 times. in
That's what I
Boston.
figured. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. I was
mean-
watching your clips, and I thought,
No.
4 max, but 5, okay, that's fair. And that was right before the special. They just gave you a special, and you went up 5 times. You gave it your best. Just a lot of faces and reactions. You know what they should do? They should put in jokes so that it makes sense that you're reacting to them. And that'll be...
So there's something I could be laughing at?
Yeah,
Laughing
like-
at myself about?
Yeah, just put like another comedian, you know what I mean? Having him tell jokes, you know? Brian Regan or something, and then you're reacting to all the jokes, and you're going, well, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. I get it. We have Brian on a second stage. And when you need something that would justify all of my goofy reactions, you would cut to Brian doing stand-up.
Material.
And then you'd come back to me being like, right.
And it'll make sense. We'll cut it. Johannes will cut it for you. He knows how to edit.
Yeah.
This whole thing is getting chopped up into 3 minutes.
Oh.
So on your podcast, you've had some names I've heard of. Juddapatow.
Judd Apatow.
Sarah Silverman.
Oh, that one you got.
John C. Riley.
Yeah.
John Mullany.
John Mullany.
I want to know what guest surprised you the most. And I want to know which guest did you show up to work and you were like, guess we got to do so-and-so today, podcast producer. What's your podcast producer's name?
Katie.
You went, Katie, guess who's coming today? And she went, oh, Pete, you got to start booking something. But then, through a series of conversations,
yes,
you left going, wow, that was one of the best shows we've ever had. And then the flip side,
yes,
I want to know who, because like when Santino was coming in, I was like, Andrew Santino, Mr. Podcast coming in. And then it was kind of like,
yeah.
So kind of like a little let down.
Yeah.
But
it's his way.
Or the highway. Yeah.
No. That is like, or the highway. You know what's funny is Katie and I have a joke that every single time I say, I'm not really in the mood, I don't really know this guest, and I swear to God, I don't know what I'm going to talk to them about, it's always a classic episode. It's never not been the way that it goes. I'm trying to think of an example, though any example that I give would be...
It was probably a DJ.
Unkind. It might have been a
yeah.
DJ.
Every time I have a DJ on the show, that's exactly what I say to my producers. I'm just like, no idea what we're going to talk about. Can't ask them about music. They barely make it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What? And then afterwards,
you love it.
I think we deleted the episodes, but in your case, you like it.
Well, it's a testament to like sometimes it's better to. In those cases, I have low expectations. It's good to have no expectations and just let it be what it's going to be. But then sometimes you have a really big guest on, and I found that if you talk to someone who's worth, let's say, $100 million, they're not going to want to open up as much because there's 300 employees that work for them that they'd be risking by telling you a story about when they jerked off whatever in summer camp, and they don't want to say it, so like they tend to be a little bit more tight. So you actually want to find someone who's nice in the middle.
I thought you said, wait, Brady was talkative. He's uptight.
Wayne was a great guest.
Okay. So who was that guest for you?
Which one?
The one that you were like, I don't like this person.
Well, I didn't.
And I don't care.
No.
And when they sat in that seat, you were like, hey.
Maybe it's just the comedian in me that almost, not every episode.
And hey, I believe there's one in there. And we're going to get it out. Because, Pete, you just have to ask yourself, who am I? Okay? And if what you believe is a comedian.
It is. Well, that's a Seinfeld thing. The funny thing about being a comedian is when you do an open mic, the first time you've done it, they introduce you as a comedian. That's how you become a comedian. Someone says, this next comedian coming to the stage is named Pete Holmes. Never done it before. You're introduced as a comedian. And that's when you cross over that threshold and you are a comedian. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's what they did on your special. They said, ladies and gentlemen, comedian Pete Holmes, you came out. But you went
that's when I was sanctioned.
Yeah, you went a long time, though.
Yeah. The second time I did stand-up, I did 40 minutes.
What's a normal set like?
When you're starting, like 5 minutes.
I wonder if I could do 3 minutes.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
Really?
I'm from the Valley.
Oh, yeah, write my opener for me, Pete.
My name is Nekrogoblikon. No, that's your band.
John. Who am I? John Goblikon.
Well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's what we told you are.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then you say, I'm John Goblikon. I have one of those names that rhymes, like Lou Diamond Phillips. So it's an anti-joke.
But Lou Diamond Phillips doesn't rhyme at all.
It's an anti-joke.
That's your thing. Anti-jokes. Anti-comedy. Comedy? That's not funny. That's something... Is that what alt comedy is?
That's what alt comedy used to be.
Yeah.
Was a place where you could tell a joke like, I have one of those rhyming names, like Lou Diamond Phillips. Although it's working for me. But yeah.
It's now your opener.
Well, my name is Pete Holmes. It doesn't rhyme.
That's what they tell you.
That's right.
Yeah.
If I want it to rhyme.
Yeah, it can. What is rhyming, Pete? It's something that we created as humans.
Yeah.
Probably to relate.
Yeah.
Someone was like, bing, ding. And someone was like, those words rhyme. And someone was like, oh, you just made me feel good.
If we were high, I think what is rhyming and why is it pleasant to human beings would be really fascinating.
Well, think of poetry and songs.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a part of our culture.
Yeah.
Rhyming is.
Yeah.
Nursery rhymes is what we tell the kids.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing they can actually grasp. It helps with memory retention.
It helps keep your attention. That's for sure. If I read my daughter a rhyming story, she's way more engaged. But then also when you're doing music, think about hip hop. It demonstrates skill. It's like language is such a joke to me that I can speak it and make it rhyme. And we're all like, wow. Even though we know if they're not like freestyling, we know, this is one of my biggest things. I think it's so funny that like hip hop artists look so cool, but they prepared it. It's the same illusion as a comedian. A comedian seems like a funny person, but they prepared it. They cheated. And a hip hop person is like, look how proficient I am at speaking. And it's like, yeah, you rehearsed it, you prepared it, you polished it, you got notes, somebody helped you, you know?
That's always my question about stand-ups. When you go see stand-ups and they're like, oh man, I just got off the plane, you know, flew here. Boy, are my arms tired. It's like, were their arms tired? Were they just on a plane?
Well, yeah, probably they were probably on a plane, but they didn't fly there. That joke is hinged on the idea. They say, I just flew into town. So we're picturing an airplane. Then you say, boy, are my arms tired. That's the twist is, oh, he means he flew, like he flapped his arms like a bird.
Anti-comedy. Yeah.
That actually is so comedy that it becomes anti-comedy, but it's anti-comedy because it's so comedy. If that makes sense.
This is like experimental comedy now.
This is, yeah, for sure.
This is.
No, I understand. What's happening right now?
Right now, yeah. Oh.
It's like Pee-wee's special word.
Who?
Pee-wee Herman.
Okay.
Paul Rubens.
Okay.
Talk show host.
Oh, I like that.
Kind of for kids. And there was a word that if he said it, everybody would scream and yell. That's on there?
You were a talk show host.
I did. I hosted a talk show for 80 episodes, 80.
80 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
What was it called?
The Pete Holmes Show. We need something more.
That's it? Right now. And you want to know why I called it that?
Because it happens right now?
Or does it? Who am I?
Who or what is aware of my experience?
So are these the kind of questions you asked on your talk show? Because I would say 80 episodes is a lot.
No, on the talk show, it was a lot lighter fare, and it was sort of before I got exposed to any of these ideas. And I used to just ask people like the hardest time they laughed or if they ever pooped their pants, stuff like that. Are you stealing those?
No, I'm just crossing them out.
I think he is. Yeah, I crossed it out. Nekrogoblikon.
What's the hardest time you've laughed?
I think it was when I pooped my pants.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's always funny. You put that in your act. What kind of guests did you have on your talk show? And how did it differ from doing a podcast?
That's a really good question because
Is it? I got one.
You mean he laughed?
No, I just got a good question.
I suppose it is sort of condescending for me to say that's a good question, as if you need my validation, which you don't.
I don't.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Pete.
You're self-sufficient.
That's right.
You know you're doing an excellent job.
I do.
Got your skull mug,
Yep.
a Sharpie,
Yep.
piece of paper with
Yep.
desk that looks like a
Bed? Yeah, it's I sleep under here.
Oh, you sleep under there?
Yeah.
Well, that looks like about enough space for you.
Oh, definitely enough space. Way more space than I get on tour.
Right?
Yeah.
You tour on a bus?
On top.
They put you on top?
Strap me in. Yep.
Oh, like the grandma in Beverly Hillbillies?
Everyone's going to get that reference for sure.
I mean, I could barely pull it out.
Yeah, that one was like starting a lawnmower. You had to kind of, come on. It's pulling.
You could say a chainsaw. It would be more metal. Do you feel a pressure to be metal?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
all
hard.
the time.
Yeah.
I just want that off of me.
You go to Quiznos, you got to get the most metal thing.
Yeah, that's not around anymore.
What?
Quiznos. It's the Bennigans of sub shops, you know?
There's no more Quiznos?
It's the bowling show of sub shops.
Sub shops.
Sub
Sub-shops.
shop.
It's the CBS Presents, masturbation, how we roll of sub-shops.
Yep.
Sponsored by Quiznos.
Written by the other Pete Holmes.
Written by the Pete Holmes who's slightly more worried that God's going to send him to hell for touching his ding-a-ling.
Pete, I heard you do impressions.
Sometimes.
What kind of impressions do you do?
What kind of impressions do you do?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr.
God damn it. I can't do you. I thought I maybe could. Bill Burr is sort of a, what is this? I'm sitting here talking to a fucking goblin. It's just that.
So what about Al Pacino?
I don't know if I'm in an impression sort of, I don't know if I can do an impression today. That was very good, actually.
What?
That was very good. If this was audio only, we could fool people. I'm sitting here with the lead singer of Nekrogoblikon, a wonderful band. And I just sired a baby, and I'm like 90. I like sitting in thrones, and I like talking to Goblin. Talking to a goblin. Ha!
I gotta be honest, I didn't expect that to be good, but that was very good.
You thought I was walking into a trap of my own making. Then it was excellent. It's a scent of a woman, Pacino, because he's not Southern.
Is that most of your act? Are you doing most
I've
of the
never done an
impressions?
impression on stage. Sometimes I do Trump by accident because I just listen to him talk sometimes in the debate or something, and he slips in because he did talking with a goblin, sitting here with a goblin, wonderful goblin. I'm great with the goblin community. They come up to me, you know, that sort of thing. So that's a funny way to talk, and sometimes I do it by accident on stage, and then I'll call it out. There's a clip of me on my Instagram doing that.
You should do TikToks.
There is a TikTok account that my friend Jake manages for me. So my
And it's got all your impressions on it?
I don't do it.
Because those are all the comedians I keep seeing.
The impression
They're in
ones?
their basement doing impressions and they got 1 million views. You should do that, Pete.
I don't know.
I think you should.
Maybe I could. I want to be on TikTok. I need the views. I want a thumb stop. I want to like. I want to subscribe.
Actually, why don't you as Al Pacino tell people to subscribe to our YouTube channel?
What's it called? Nekrogoblikon.
Yeah.
Nekrogoblikon has over 1 million subscribers, and I want you to be one of them. It's me, Al Pacino, but you already knew that.
You know, with AI, we could make this work. You know, just completely cover. They do that now.
Put Pacino face on me.
I
Can I
only
be
do
canceled for putting on Pacino face?
I don't know. Pacino face. Hashtag Pacino face. Like, why is Pete Holmes trending? You're like, oh.
He got taken down for Pacino face.
He got canceled.
Yeah.
Pacino face.
Yeah.
I understand. I only do one impression.
Who's that?
Fred Durst, the lead singer of Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, you had me at Fred Durst.
Yeah. So, all right, let's set up the impression. Okay, so you're my waiter. Okay.
Okay.
And you're gonna ask me if I want fries with that. Okay. All right, hold on.
Yeah. Ready? Do you want fries with that?
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it.
That's it.
And for dessert, a cookie.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. So, Pete, before we get out of here, you do have stand-up specials.
Yep.
How many?
5.
5.
Yeah.
Wow. What are they called?
Well, the first one's
Home Alone?
You mean when
Home Alone 2?
No, because
Home Alone 3. No one saw Home Alone 3, right?
No, with the other kid?
Oh my God. When they did that, I was like, okay, Hollywood.
No.
We could just call it.
With his shimmering bowl cut?
Yeah. Oh.
Fucking beat it, brunette.
No, thank
Fucking
you.
beat it.
I'm trying to get Macaulay Culkin on here.
The Culkster will do it.
Did he do yours?
No. I'd love to have the Culk. Any of the Culks.
All
Macaulay.
right, how about this? I'll get Macaulay on here, and I'll trade you for Wayne Brady.
This is what
people do.
podcasters do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll trade you a Wayne Brady for a Culkin.
Deal.
Yeah, that's a deal. I'll throw in Howie Mandel. Deal or no deal.
No thanks.
That is the funniest thing you could have said.
No thanks.
I'm good.
Okay, Howie, I'm out. Other specials are called what?
Well, the newest one on Netflix is called I Am Not For Everyone.
And is that out?
That's out.
It's been out.
Oh, it's been out.
How's it doing?
I don't know. Netflix doesn't share that.
What's the deal with that?
What's the deal? Netflix, you got the numbers. Give us the numbers. They don't cost anything. Money numbers, those cost. Numbers, free. B-movie.
Brian Regan. So, that was pretty good, actually.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Kramer. It's called I'm Not For Everyone. Then there's two on HBO. One's called Dirty Clean. One's called Faces and Sounds. Then there's one on Comedy Central called Nice Try the Devil. And then before that, I did an album, which is called Impregnated with Wonder. So that, it's a soft 5. It's 4.5, really.
All right, so right now, Pete, it's time for the Right Now Questionnaire. This is a totally original thing that's never been done on podcasts. I end every podcast with a set of questions. And I ask every guest the questions. It's called Questions You Have to Answer Right Now. So it's rapid fire, okay? So don't overthink it. You know, step out of consciousness. Don't ask too many questions, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta, no quoting, what's it called? Rammstein, what's his name? Ramdas. Yeah, don't quote him, you know. He did ask that one question I liked a lot. Du hast me. Now that's a question you could ponder for a while.
Du hast?
Yeah, all right, here we go.
What does that mean?
3, 2, 1. Left or right?
Right.
West Portland.
What?
Favorite genre of metal?
Metal.
Okay, there's a snail chasing you. The snail is moving at a snail's pace, but will always be following you for the rest of your life. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, but the snail will always be moving in your direction. If you touch the snail or the snail touches you, you die. And before you ask, yes, it can swim and survive in any atmosphere. What's your plan to stay alive, Pete?
Just always move forward at least a mile every day.
But like, are you ever going to sleep? Or like, what if it...
Yeah, it's not going to go more than a mile while I'm sleeping. A snail? At a snail's pace? I don't think we're giving enough credence to how slowly a snail moves. As long as I move forward 1 mile every day, I think I'll be good. Plus, if I get in a car, game over.
You ever been to Trader Joe's?
Yeah, I'm not.
All right, thank you so much, Pete Holmes. Wowie zowie. That was so much fun.
I'm really glad to be.
We asked all the right questions.
You thought I wrote a book I didn't write?
What book did you write? All right, now's your opportunity to plug whatever book, whatever special you want, right to this camera. Go ahead and plug it, Pete Holmes.
Well, my Netflix special, that would be nice. It's called I'm Not For Everyone. And I did write a book called Comedy, Sex, God, which explores some of the spirituality we discussed here today.
Wait, it's called Comedy, Sex, God?
Yeah, Comedy, Sex, God.
Who's that about, me?
Okay. Yep.
All right, keep going.
Oh, and my podcast, it's called You Made It Weird. It's on YouTube, and it's also on whomever you get your podcast.
Starring Wayne Brady.
But we talk about the meaning of life and sexuality, and we go deep. It's like a deep comedy podcast.
Will you really have me on?
I would love to have you on.
Oh, I'm coming. We're going to do the trade.
The pod swap, they call it.
The pod swap, definitely. You did mine, I'll do yours.
Yeah.
We'll do it.
Are you nuts? You're a sensation, and you're very, very funny and wonderful.
Oh, you're wonderful. And Pete, you're so wonderful, and you're such a good actor. I prepared.
I don't know why sneaking that in there.
I prepared a script for you. It's under your throne. Oh. This is just, since you got to promote a bunch of your stuff, I thought maybe you would just do a nice cold read into camera. just for my stuff, okay? Whenever you're ready, Pete.
Hey, all you fucking weirdos, it's me, Pete Holmes. No, up here. I'm all the way up here because I'm so tall. I want you all to subscribe to Nekrogoblikon, the YouTube channel, and also this podcast because, boy, do I know podcasts! If you want a special shout out, make sure to book John on Cameo. It'll be like getting a message from a fellow comedy sex god. And I would know. I wrote a book about being one. Speaking of books, also buy John's book, John Goblikon's Guide to Living Your Best Life. Keep it crispy. Cream. Thought I couldn't do it in one?
Wow.
It's like Good Will Hunting. You know how fucking easy this is for me?
Wow. That was Who Am I? Not worthy. Not worthy. That was so good, Pete. Thank you so much, Pete.
Well,
and we're going to end the show right now.
Well, look at your hand, and then look at my hand.
Yours is smaller. I bet that doesn't happen a lot to you. Sub.